Warning, some viewers may find the following footage deeply disturbing. Warning, some viewers may find the following footage deeply disturbing.
The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Fresh off of the heels of AEW's one of the biggest pay-per-views from AEW, All In, live from Wembley Stadium in London, England. And man, what a show it was. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. This is the official review show of AEW All In. I'm Dizzy alongside J-Bone, host of the Total Nonstop Impact and Smash This podcast. And J-Bone, man, your initial thoughts before we dive into this card of AEW All In.
Dude, we've said it a bunch of times, and those who are getting used to our show know that we are critical of AEW, but it's because we want them to succeed. It's not because we hate the brand.
Right.
Shows like this completely renew my faith in the brand of AEW. This was borderline, I'll say borderline flawless. I'm sure some people could be like, oh yeah, well they did this and this and this. Dude, I can't pick. I have goosebumps. I can't pick any flaws off the top of my head. I loved all the matches as uninvested in some of them that I was, whatever.
Right.
Dude, it was just so much fun. The ladies kicked ass, the tag teams kicked ass, the main events kicked ass. Yeah, Courtney, here you go. Put it simple. Wow, exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you. There were some things that kind of pissed me off about this pay-per-view and some things that I didn't quite understand. And we're going to get into that because
sure,
for the most part, man, this did kind of restore faith in me as far as, the company goes for AEW. And like J-Bone just said, we're very critical. I know the Baron and Max sometimes give kind of critical, even me. J-Bone's been a little critical of him too. Probably not to the severity of either myself or the Baron, but this is, it really does put some faith in you. And look, I'm here to say that AEW, no matter all of the crappy weekly shows that they have, as far as Dynamite goes, as far as Collision, as far as Rampage goes, they are always able to put on banger pay-per-views. Right. And they need to continue this momentum for putting on banger pay-per-views to bring it to their shows, to make them banger shows too. And yeah, we just want to make sure that people are aware that we just want the best for this company. We don't want to see them go under. We don't want to see the big bad WWE machine come and suck them up and sweep them away and all this, because that's really not what is going on anymore. Vinnie Mac's gone. It's a whole new era. Triple H is here, and it's really, really cool that we had a debut tonight, and he got to use the same name that he used in WWE. Of course, we're going to talk about it. I know the fans already know what we're talking about, but
oh yeah,
I'm ready to dive in to this.
Hell yeah,
we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, and bro, if you don't want to go over all the pre-show stuff, there was a lot of pre-show stuff.
No, let's go over it, because it's part of the show. It's part of All In. So I think we should go over it and cover everything.
That's fine. I mean, I'm just saying we don't have to spend as much time of it as some, because some of these matches were like hot off the press, like, oh, we're getting this match, because going into this we had one match. I think we ended up with like 4 matches, so I don't think they're even all in my notes here. So, in fact, I don't have any notes. But
we have. I mean, they threw in some matches, which was really, really weird. I guess they were just trying to fill time, and it was a long damn pay-per-view.
When you bring over that many people, you want to use them. You want to get your most out of them, and it's kind of like Mania. You want to get as many people on the card as possible, and there's nothing wrong with that,
Right? Yeah, and they have a huge. I mean, the AEW roster is massive, and they don't know how to use everybody that they have, so they said, "Well, we'll just throw them in these pre-show matches," which is okay, but I think everybody deserves a little something extra.
Yeah, and they put as many people on this show because everyone works so hard to get to shows like this and to be a part of them. And it's really a celebration of all the hard work that everyone from the company puts in. That's how I look at it.
And this is AEW's like WrestleMania, so
kind of yeah. I mean, but next to like the original All In, that was like the predecessor to the brand launch. But yeah.
So let's dive into it. Let's kick things off with the 16-man tag team match featuring Lio Rush, Top Flight, Action Andretti, Rocky Romero, the Conglomerations, Kyle Fletcher, Kip Sabian, and Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington versus Private Party, Dark Order, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh. I think that's how I pronounce that name.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And Premier Athletes, and as well as Shane Taylor and Anthony Ogogo. So, honestly, I didn't pay too much attention to this match, but nearing the end of it, Kyle Fletcher fends off a double team by Private Party, keeps it rolling. Top Flight, Tommy Billington and Fletcher dive in onto their opponents at ringside. Private Party double teams Kip Sabian. Rocky Romero takes control, but Anthony Ogogo nails him. Fletcher hits Ogogo with a tombstone. Dark Order then double teams Fletcher. Dante Martin hits a splash on Daivari for the win, and the winners of the 16-man tag team match, Lio Rush, Top Flight, and Kyle Fletcher, Kip Sabian, Dynamite Kid, and Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington. Again, I didn't pay attention. Did you watch this match, Javon?
I did. I saw most of it. There was a couple others on the pre-show I didn't pay much attention to because I was either like making a cover or just eating or whatever, or still just waking up a little bit because this
started 10
in the morning. Holy Nikes. Dude, it was great to see because I don't watch all the shows. I used to, like when the brand first started, I'd watch all the shows because I was really invested in it.
Right.
Now I watch Dynamite and I pretty much skip the rest. But it was great to see everyone that we did here because you see faces on here that I haven't seen in ages, like Lio Rush, Action Andretti, Top Flight. Dude, the moment where you had Lio Rush going, face to crotch with Satnam, you know what I mean? Satnam Singh. I mean, that was... Dude, that was kind of like the Rey Mysterio Big Show moment of the night. It was so
really
fun.
Was. Yeah. Well, we got the winners of that match, and then it was announced that AEW Grand Slam 2025 will be held in Australia on my birthday, February 15th.
Ooh,
that's cool.
I know you're going to that.
Yeah, I'm on the first flight to Australia.
Yeah,
going down under. When you live with a man down under.
Ooh, maybe they'll play live.
Maybe. I hope so. That would be fitting, wouldn't it? They better, you know what? When they step off the plane, they better just gift them with a koala. And what's the spread that they use? Somebody in the chat will help me out with this one. The spread that they use for what the hell is it called? They put it on.
They put it on like sandwiches and crackers and stuff.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of what the hell.
What is it called? It just Vegemite. Thank you, Barry. Vegemite.
There we go. Vegemite. Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't think of it.
I've heard of it. I've never had it. I don't know what the hell. Is that like tofu or something?
It's like their peanut butter. It's like the Australian version of peanut butter. But like when you step off of the plane in Hawaii and you get laid. Not in that way, J-Bone. Not in that way. Yeah. Get your mind out of the gutter, sir.
I know. I just,
plane. I know it's funny. It's funny to say, hey, I'm getting late.
In the airport in front of everybody. I mean, what a vacation.
What a welcome. What a welcome to Hawaii. And then, stepping off the plane in Australia, and you get handed a koala bear, and you get
Vegemite. Yeah. Courtney says poutine. No, that's Canada.
Oh yeah, poutine is Canada, which I've never had either. You know, the number one thing to eat in Canada, according to my mother who went there for a vacation, is they love French fries and gravy.
That's poutine.
Is that poutine? Okay.
That's poutine, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well then, my mother had poutine.
There you go.
Yeah. Not that way.
The names of these things, I swear.
I know. We then get the entrances of the next match for the pre-show, which is a mixed tag team match between Kris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway versus Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii, which I now know how to pronounce. Thank you to AEW, Ishii.
Yeah, it's I usually say Ishii or Ishii. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this match was okay. It
was fun. Stokely Hathaway's entrance, where he was being carried out by like all the beefcakes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you caught what he was wearing.
No.
It was cosplay of what Michael Jackson wore back in like the 80s when he played Wembley.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Like if you look at the video, do you remember the time where he's like dancing with the Egyptian chickie poos,
Oh, yeah.
I'll
have to go back and try to find that on YouTube because I missed that shit. I missed that. Well, nearing the end of this match, Kris Statlander sends Ishii over to Stokely Hathaway, and Hathaway nails him with a spine buster. Ishii quickly recovers, but Hathaway hits a splash on him in the corner and delivers some right hands on him. Nightingale then takes Statlander down in the ring with a shoulder pounce and holds Hathaway in place in order for Ishii to hit a basement clothesline on him for the win. And your winners of this match, Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii, since I know now how to pronounce it, and that's just so much fun to say, Ishii.
Dude, he is so much fun to watch.
He is fun.
He is called the Stone Pitbull, and if you're not familiar with him, after watching him in like one match, you understand why he's called the Stone Pitbull.
Shit, look at him. Did you see him walk down the ring? He's just like all stout and shit. Like,
dude,
he's like a stone man, literally.
He's like 4.5 feet of solid muscle.
Oh my god! Could you imagine meeting that dude in a dark alley? Oh my god!
I'd probably, I'd feel like, oh, look at this guy. He looks so cute and harmless. And then, splash against the wall and I'm dead.
Right. It was nice to see Dr. Martha Hart in the UK. She addressed the fans and said she came from beautiful Canada to be there, which weirdly enough drew some boos and jeers, as well as when she said Canada was neighbors to the US. I thought it was kind of strange for that, but
I think that's more of a sport kind of thing.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. Like you boo a certain soccer league team or something to that effect. Yeah.
She was cheered though when she said that they were proud to be part of the British Commonwealth, and she wished the competitors of the Owen Hart Cup tournaments good luck, and then went backstage. And we also got a pretty cool video package of AEW Forbidden Door coming back to London on August 24th, 2025. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's going to be a blast.
That'll be the big show that's coming to the UK next year.
Yep.
Because All In is actually going to be in Texas next year.
Yes, yeah, they're going to be in Texas, and there's a reason behind that. I didn't dive into it, but there is a reason behind that.
Yeah.
So we move on to the next pre-match of the evening, the 10-man tag team match. ROH World 6-man tag team champions Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross Von Erich, and the ROH World Tag Team Champions, The Natural, Dustin Rhodes, and the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara. Was really good to see him, and the wrestler Katsuyori Shibata versus the Cage of Agony. That is Brian Cage, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona,
yeah.
right? Leona?
Yeah, close enough, yeah.
And the Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. This was actually kind of cool to see the Von Erichs back inside of a square circle. Honestly, I thought it was kind of neat. It was kind of, it was a pretty cool throwback. So,
yeah, Tony signed them up recently. They haven't been featured much on AEW, but they have been featured more on Ring of Honor. But the Von Erichs became free agents last year from MLW, which I was a big fan of them while they were on that brand. In fact, their debut was in MLW, was 10 minutes from my house. That was a blast to watch. But nonetheless, that was another company, another time. Here, I want to quick address this. Someone says, can I invite you and your viewers to join my sports group for Facebook? As a bunch of wrestling fans, I need to build a wrestling community page or Facebook. Yeah, send if you have the page already made, just message us on there's a link in the description for the Facebook, and hit us up on the Facebook. Tag us in it, or just send us a private message. Okay.
Yeah, go to Facebook and search Ramblers Unleashed, and you'll find us right on social media. And thanks for watching us this evening, man.
We appreciate it. Yeah. Give the page a follow, and we'll follow you guys back. And yeah, sure.
Love for love. I love it. So nearing the end of this match, Sammy Guevara hits a jumping knee on Brian Cage. It sends him crashing out the ring, but Mike Bennett nails him with a spine buster. Shibata then hits a drop kick on Bennett in the corner and follows it up with a suplex. Marshall Von Erich then flies out of the corner to take Bennett down, and Dustin Rhodes hits a twisting net breaker on Matt Taven. Guevara follows it up with a swanton bomb, and Rhodes pins Taven for the win. And your winners of the 10-man tag team match, the ROH World 6-man tag team champions, the Von Erichs, as well as the Natural Dustin Rhodes, the Spanish God Sammy Guevara, and the wrestler Katsuyori Shibata, which is a perfect name for him. This was actually a really high-flying match. This was impressive.
This one I did not catch. I saw the intros, but I did not catch the match, so I really can't say too much about it.
It was a pretty decent match. And after the match, the winners were attacked. That's when we see Kevin Von Erich step into the ring to deliver the Iron Claw on Taven, as well as everyone else. I thought that part was kind of dumb, but
I love classic moments like that, though.
I know. It's just, I don't know. For me, it just didn't seem believable. I don't know. I mean,
it's the move. It's the move.
I know. It's the move. I
should say it's the mystique behind the move.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You're right. Next up, we have the Outcasts, Saraya and Harley Cameron. And the rest of Saraya's family make their way down to the ring to address the fans of AEW. Harley starts off by voicing Saraya's frustration for her being left off the card and said they decided that the show must go on. And Saraya grabs the mic and demands that all of England respects her and says she wants the AEW Women's World Championship and demands respect. Ooh. And then out comes the return of Jamie Hayter. And I did not think that Jamie Hayter would come out on a pre-show, which why don't they do this on the main show? I don't know. Have no idea. But
because it's loaded and the
but that's a huge return, J-Bone.
I know. It's a classic thing where you put stuff on a pre-show in order to get people hyped for the main card and get them to order it. It's as simple as I can put it. And so, so you do want people to tune in, and appreciate what they give you, So.
And Barry says Jamie Hayter was remarkably like Becky Lynch.
Yeah. Yeah, she died. She used to be I guess kind of blonde with some dark root kind of look,
Right.
But yeah.
Their style, the only hype the show needs. What's going on, brother? Glad you're here.
What's up? and happy birthday to you, Styles.
Yes, happy birthday, Styles. Wish him a happy birthday there in the chat.
Yes, give him some love.
But it was good to see Jamie Hayter come back out, and come back to AEW, and she took down several members of the Knight family. Saraya leaves the ring, and Hayter nails Cameron with a clothesline to a pretty big pop. So it was really cool to see Jamie Hayter back tonight.
That's
Bill, what's up, buddy?
Bill from TNI.
Bill.
Yeah.
Glad you're here, man. Did you enjoy the All In? Did you watch All In? Sound off in the comments, man.
He might have. He just might have.
He might have, yeah. He might have. He's one of your co-hosts on Total Nonstop Impact, right?
Tuesdays and Thursdays, you bet, bro.
There you go. You can go and subscribe to that channel. Very, very good channel. They do an amazing job of covering everything happening in TNA. They give you some news from TNA. They give you all the review shows from after the PLEs. They talk about J-Bone. You matter of fact, you do the live reaction show during the Impact.
During TNA Impact on Thursday nights, yeah, and then we do the review. I do the review with the crew shortly after that, yeah.
There you go, man. So make sure you follow and subscribe to Total Nonstop Impact on YouTube. And a matter of fact, if you go back to our homepage, you'll see all of our partners that we've partnered up with, and TNI is the partner that we've teamed up with.
That reminds me, I gotta put us as a partner on TNI.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sorry. That's one of those little things that I keep forgetting to do.
It's all right. I mean, hey, I'm just happy that we have over 200 subscribers now, which means we're gonna get Max an address, or this guy he wants him in a brawn granny panties, which is weird.
I'm thinking a girdle. A nice nude colored girdle.
You know what's funny is that we told Max, we said, hey, we're up to 200 subscribers, and he said, yeah, congratulations. And I said, yeah, so that means you're gonna have to pick out a dress. He said, I don't remember agreeing to that. So I'm gonna hold Baron. I'm holding Baron responsible for reminding Max that he is to wear a dress now that we are over 200 subscribers. And if we get more than 200 subscribers now, you're still going to see Max in a dress no matter what. We're going to get his ass in a dress.
We're going to plan it for like 2 weeks away.
Yeah, 2 weeks away. So keep subbing to the channel. Keep hitting the bell icon. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors about us. If they're wrestling fans, Let them know that we do this every Saturday afternoon, sometimes Saturday evenings. We'll let you know on our socials. You can follow us at The Ramblers Pod on X and Facebook. You can find us on Facebook at Ramblers Unleashed. So, J-Bone, do you think we should get started on the main card?
Is that it for the pre-show?
That's it for the pre-show.
I thought there was. Oh no, that's right. It did end with Jamie Hayter, didn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it did. It did end with Jamie Hayter, and it actually, well, I mean, it ended with the entrance of House of Black and all those guys coming out for the first match. So,
yeah. They did like 10 minutes of entrances because it was like four 3-man teams. It was holy cow.
Which the House of Black entrance was freaking amazing. They always do such a good job with their entrance.
Oh, it was just great to see fresh gear on. Like you forget that it's like this is one of their big special shows. So like you forget about like, new gear for everyone. And everyone looked like $1 million. Except for Pac. He just always wears straight black.
Right. Yeah. And with the House of Black, one guy had a mask on that the mouth was moving, reminded me of Jigsaw from Saw. Which
nice.
I thought was really, really cool. So let's move on to the main card. It is the AEW World Trios London Ladders Championship match between the Patriarchy, the Bang Bang Gang, the Blackpool Combat Club, and the Bastard Pack and the House of Black. So this was a really, really good high energy match. Great way to start off the show. Great way to start off the main card.
Yeah.
And nearing the end of this match, Brian Cage climbed up a ladder, looks to grab the belts, but Buddy Matthews intercepts him and hits a kill switch with the ladder, which is fucking amazing. Matthews.
Did you say Brian Cage?
Yeah, Brian Cage climbed up the ladder.
He was in the last match, not this one.
Oh, was it? Oh,
wait, wasn't he?
Yeah. You're right. Where did I? Christian Cage. Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
Wrong Cage.
There's so many damn cages. So Christian Cage. Thank you for catching that. I appreciate that. Christian Cage climbed up the ladder. Let's try that again. Rewind. Christian Cage climbs up the ladder and looks to grab the belt, but Buddy Matthews intercepts him and hits a kill switch with the ladder. Matthews then steps up the ladder and looks to grab the belt, but Cage spears him through the third table previously set up in the ring. Kill switch helps Cage up to the ladder. Cage looks to unhook the belts and Pack, then knocks them both down and climbs up the ladder and grabs one of the belts. Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli then follow suit and grab the remaining 2 belts for the win. And the winners, the new AEW World Trios Champions, Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta with the Bastard Pack, which it's cool that they're including the Bastard Pack now into the goings on of Blackpool Combat Club, even though he may not become a member of the Blackpool Combat Club. You never know. But your thoughts on this card or this match?
Well, I mentioned this on the preview. I think it's because Pac was in that team with the Lucha Brothers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I don't think the Lucha Brothers are all elite anymore. Otherwise, they would have been on this card.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're headed to WWE eventually. They're probably just waiting out the rest of their getting healthy, waiting out the rest of their contract. I've heard both sides of the story. They are or they aren't going, but I think just this show and Pac being with the BCC was a sure sign. Death Triangle. Thank you. I couldn't think of their name, Courtney. Thank you.
Thank you,
Death
Courtney.
Triangle. Yeah.
Appreciate it. So
But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Yeah, Barry talking about the little ladders. That was like there were so many little ladders and like one big one that looked like it was gonna fall apart as soon as someone touched it. Yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff. I mean, they don't. I don't know where they got them from. You know, I don't know if there was a Home Depot near the stadium or a Lowe's, but man, you want some good ladders, that's where you go. So I don't know what kind of hardware store was nearby, but hey, you get what you get, you know.
I guess do they have Home Depot and Lowe's over in London? I don't know.
I don't know, man. Maybe it was like they raided a few like McDonald's nearby and stole their ladders or something.
McDonald's, really nice.
I don't know.
Where's
your maintenance closet? We need a ladder. Shit.
That's funny. That's hilarious. But out of 5 stars, J-Bone, what do you rate this?
Out of what? I'm sorry.
Out of 5 stars, what do you rate this first match?
This match was a blast. It had everything you needed from like a match that you want them to, to hype the crowd up with action and spills and tables and all sorts of stuff. I'm actually going to give this 4 stars.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay. That's fair.
It was okay, but I was definitely more invested in the next match, and that is the AEW Women's World Championship match between Timeless Toni Storm and the 2024 Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament winner, the Glamour, Mariah May. This, for me, easily match of the night number 1. This was a good damn match. Damn good match.
Oh yeah. This one, just watching Toni Storm in her character and her charisma and like so dramatic, it's like, especially this, I'm gonna kind of skip towards the end.
Yeah.
Because like when she was like, yay, I won, but she didn't win. She was just like, flailing up the ramp, like just, like a bad 80s parody of someone that had stayed at the club too long. In fact, the post show, they were talking about her, and someone said Luther was chasing her down the street. She actually stayed in her gear and was doing the same thing, just like down the block. Like,
oh wow!
Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But just the story itself is.
It wouldn't, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me because she's so invested in this character. She's so invested in this gimmick, and I absolutely love it.
It's one of the best things in women wrestling today across the board. I'm not going to call it the top thing just because I have my favorites in several different brands as far as what's going on, between TNA, WWE, AEW, but Toni Storm's character and her development of this across her title reign has been priceless. I've really come to appreciate it. I didn't get it at first. Then I was like, oh, wow, she's got Luther. And then it's just everything. It's, yeah. And Luther flipping off Mariah May at the end of the match was
Yes. Yeah. So nearing the end of this match, Mariah May hits a Mayday on Toni Storm, and I love the name of that move. May pins, but Storm kicks out, and May looks to grab the AEW Women's Championship belt from the corner. Luther then grabs it before May can, and May goes for the infamous shoe. Storm then steps on May's hand to keep her from using it and grabs it and looks to hit May with it, but she just can't quite bring herself to doing it, opening the door for May to pin Storm. But Storm kicks out and May hits a couple of kicks, and Storm 0 on Storm for the win. And your new AEW Women's World Champion, 2024 Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament winner, the Glamour, Mariah May. Honestly, I'm going to give this match probably a 4.5 stars. This was a killer match. I am so happy to I'm so happy that this storyline is going on because of the way that it was built, the way that it was portrayed. These two women are doing a phenomenal job at telling this story, telling describing to us their beef, their problem, their issues, and they did such a beautiful job at this story. And props to both of those ladies. And that's why I'm giving it 4.5 stars.
Yeah, I'd probably give it about the same. Yeah, but like borderline 5 stars. It was damn good because just everything involved. It's one thing if Tony was carrying this whole thing.
Yeah.
But Mariah May, like if you had to like watch her throughout this whole thing. And I mean the title reign where she was like locked in, and then all of a sudden, boom, she had her opportunity as soon as she won, and then she just destroyed Tony. And then the new chapter of Tony Storm just unraveling before this match. Whenever we saw her try to sneak up on Mariah May, but Mariah May still came out on top, and it was a bloody mess. And the bloody shoe came into play, like you said. Just all the little pieces were just. Yeah. It's one of the best women's stories in the last several years, I'd say.
Helping to continue this story and build it. And as May left the ring, Luther is heartbroken, and Storm has a moment. She kind of is just on the ring, like in the middle of the ring on her back, just flailing around, kind of throwing a fit. And she gets on her feet, and I love the London crowd. They sing a song to Storm in appreciation.
Yeah.
That London crowd was pretty fire, man. I mean, they were on point throughout a few of these matches. A lot of them slept through one match, and the match that I think a lot of people started leaving for to go like to the bathroom or to get to a drink or food or whatever was the next match, the FTW Championship match between Chris Jericho and Hook. I read on one website where they said, people were just leaving. They were going to go to the bathroom. They were going to get drinks and food and things like that. And honestly, it was a sleeper match to be perfectly honest. But nearing the end of this match, Jericho hits Hook with a garbage can and sets up for the Judas effect. But Hook nails him with a couple of suplexes. Big Bill then holds Hook in place as Jericho looks to nail him, but Hook moves out of the way, and Jericho accidentally sends Bill crashing through the barbed wire board table on the outside, which, by the way, Bill is really over in London. I was surprised.
Oh, my God, did he get a pop here and there? He really did. Dude, if you saw him a few years ago, you'd have been like, okay, this is going to be the next one that's going to end up on TMZ that we're going to lose as far as wrestling stories. The way he's come back, and which was, I am invested in him because a good part of his comeback was done in TNA before he went off to AEW. And as much as I can't stand this group of Chris Jericho's, like the whole learning tree thing.
Yeah.
It's hi guys. I was like, oh, you're killing me. I'm so happy for Bill. I legit am. You do want to talk about an amazing positive comeback story. Look at Big Bill. And I don't care what people say about the name. It's like, but what are you going to call him? It's right. Like he's Big Bill.
He went from being teamed with Enzo Amore in WWE to as Enzo made his exit through WWE, he was just kind of left in the fray, to be honest. He really wasn't given many opportunities. The one that carried him was Enzo Amore, but I think Enzo was kind of mic happy and really just said, you know what, I'm going to take over the show. I'm the charismatic one. You're just the big dude. And to
be fair, there's only so many things a big guy can do besides be a muscle too.
Well, I mean, that's not true, J-Bone. Look at the Big Show.
Well, I'll say a majority of them. There are a few that do stand out and evolve over time. Big Bill hasn't done a lot of evolving over the last few years, but he's stayed in great shape and he stayed the course, and he's got, he's on top now, so he's doing great. He's doing great.
Yeah. Hook then puts Jericho in the red rum, and Taz comes out from the announce table.
Yeah.
Brian Keith tries to get into the ring. Taz pulls him down, puts him in a Taz mission to prevent him from interfering, and Jericho taps out near winner and the new FTW champion, Hook. And here's a couple things that I noticed. First off, big time squash match, as I guessed it would be. Also, I don't know if you saw this, J-Bone, but when Taz locked in the Taz mission on Keith, it seemed kind of weak. It didn't look like he locked it in all the way, more like it was like a restraining hold rather than a submission move, because he had his arm around his chest, but Taz's hand was on his shoulder instead of like around where it should have been,
Yeah.
And I need to go watch the Taz mission, the submission move from Taz when he was in the WWE and ECW, and see how he applied it versus to the AEW version of the Taz mission. But
Taz was in much better shape back then. He was much leaner. He could probably,
Yeah, I get it. I know he's older and things like that, and he wanted to be a part. He wanted to have a moment and
just the visual, the fact that he was helping his son, and he was like, "I'm tired of this. I'm gonna, you know what? I made this match. I can break my own rules. I don't care. I'm getting involved." And I'm like, "Yeah, go get him, Taz." It's just
Yeah, and I mean, and I do, even though I don't quite understand the whole belt, I don't understand the championship, I am happy that they are bringing the ECW history to AEW via Taz, which is great. And they mentioned ECW on TV, on AEW programming, which is fantastic, and that's really good to see.
I just wish they would make it an actual belt in the company, but it's just always kind of just stuck with Hook.
What is the FTW championship? It's not really prestigious.
No.
It's nothing like, it's nothing like the Intercontinental Championship or the International or the American Championship that MJF had. It's not the trios. It's not prestigious as the trios titles or tag titles. It's just a belt, and I get why Hook has it. It's perfect for Hook. It wasn't perfect for Jericho, but I get why they built the story using the belt.
It actually was long story short, it was Jericho's way of putting over Hook in the long run. Which
exactly,
I'll appreciate Jericho for that. Jericho has put over a lot of up and coming guys over the last handful of years, and I think people forget that.
Yes, yeah, and that's one good thing about Jericho. I mean, despite everything else that he's done, that maybe hasn't been very well liked, he does put a lot of newcomers over, which is really good, and he works with them, and he really is a learning tree, even though outside of the whole gimmick, the terrible gimmick, by the way, outside of that, he does help the young wrestlers come up and guide them into the right direction and say, hey, this is how we do things here, and takes them under his wing. So that's cool, man. That's really cool.
Oh yeah.
Next up, the AEW World Tag Team Championship 3-way match between the Young Bucks, FTR, and the Acclaimed. Max Caster comes out with a mic in hand to freestyle their entrance, and of course made references to penises and whatever else he said that I just really hoped he wouldn't do, but he did, so it is what it is.
Dude, that was your favorite part of the match, admit it.
Okay, it's clever. it's creative. I get it. And it's not been done, and it's cool. I love the fact that that he's able to freestyle and he can do that coming out, and psych his opponents out like that. But
yeah,
the content that the things that he says sometimes is not PG, and then it's not a PG show. But it doesn't make Warner Brothers happy when he has the mic.
No, but I mean, this was if you think about it, it's a European crowd, so they're a little more edgy on top of it.
And it is a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And I get it.
You can get away with a few more things on a pay-per-view, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, well, shit, if Saraya can drop the F-bomb on YouTube on their post-show on the media scrum, I don't know if you caught that, but daggone, she was going off. Anyway, and Renee Paquette actually said shit on the mic. I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyway, nearing the end of the match, Max Caster hits the mic drop and pins Matthew Jackson, but Matthew kicks out. Nicholas then looks to use one of the AEW World Tag Team Championship belts on Harwood, but is unsuccessful. Nicholas then looks to hit him with it again. It's successful this time. Matthew pins Harwood, but Harwood kicks out. The Bucks then hit the EVP trigger on him for the win, and the winners and still the AEW World Tag Champions. To bury everyone, the Elite's Young Bucks. I was not happy with this match. I really thought that the Young Bucks should have dropped it and given it to the Ascension, because, or the Acclaimed rather. I don't know where that came from.
That's because I talked. It's you must have heard me talking about Khan on my my TNA reviews. I'm always mentioning. I'm always mentioning the Ascension.
I'm in the wrong damn promotion. The Acclaimed. I think the Bucks should have dropped their belts and put them on the Acclaimed, and hopefully this isn't the end of the feud. I really hope it's not. But after the match, though, we get the debut of the grizzled young veterans who slide into the ring and stare down the Bucks, and then turn their attention to FTR for the attack, which was really good to see the grizzled young veterans in AEW. So
yeah, they've quietly been they've been there, but not really featured much. Like they spent some time in TNA after after they were let go from the WWE, so they really kind of went back to their old original selves while in TNA for, I don't know, it was like a handful of months or whatever it was. And then they went to AEW, and they haven't been featured much until now. And now I think this place to feature them, because they are an OG UK team as far as I know. I don't know everything about them, but yeah, they are fun to watch. They are a great tag team.
Yeah, and Paulie, I 100% agree with you. I think the Bucks should have dropped the belts. I think they should have put them on the Acclaimed. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know what they're thinking or what their plans are. Also, to your comment about Shane McMahon, there was buzz around possibly Shane McMahon coming out to the crowd at All In London. I don't know if he was there. I don't know if he was backstage. I don't know the situation with the Shane McMahon. But
no clue.
We're monitoring that. We don't know. I mean, right now it's all hearsay. We know that there's a picture out there with Shane and Tony in the same room. I don't know at this point. So we're monitoring that situation, because that's interesting. If Shane does become part of this promotion, that could mean really, really good things for AEW, as long as Vince McMahon stays the hell out of AEW. That'll be great. It
would be a landmark thing, and would be one of the biggest things in wrestling, honestly. A McMahon showing up somewhere else,
it'll put WWE on notice.
And it might be, if there is something going on where he is or could be soon part of AEW. Maybe they would reserve that for television. That was one thing I was hoping that they were going to announce at the pay-per-view today, was like part of their new TV deal or something, but we didn't get that. At least I don't think that was announced.
Yeah.
So maybe that's maybe that they'll reserve something for the future, something like that. I don't know.
Maybe it's down the road, and maybe they're going to save Shane if he really is part of AEW. Maybe they're going to save him for when they're on TV, when they're on Warner Brothers television. Maybe Shane can save it. I don't know. But again, we don't know that right now. It's just all hearsay. We know the picture's out there. We reported it, but we'll just have to see what happens. In the meantime, we move on to the rest of the card. In the next match was the Casino Gauntlet match, and the winner will be guaranteed a shot for the AEW World Title. It did feature Orange Cassidy, who was the first out, as well as Okada, and really cool to see Nigel McGuinness.
Oh my God, that was one of the best moments of the entire night.
Yeah, and
to see him come out, that was amazing.
Yeah, we also got Kyle O'Reilly, Zack Sabre Jr., Roderick Strong, Mark Briscoe, Hangman Adam Page, Jeff Jarrett, Christian Cage came back out, and we got the debut of Ricochet, who is officially All Elite and is using his name from WWE. And you and I were talking about this in our chat.
Yeah.
That was actually one of the deals that Triple H made, like one of the rules that he eliminated from WWE, saying that these wrestlers, if they leave the company, their contracts are up, they can use their name that they used in our promotion on a different promotion, which is really cool. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Nearing the end of the match, Roderick Strong hits Orange Cassidy with his signature tilt-a-whirl knee, double knee backbreaker, but Mark Briscoe flies to land on him and looks to hit the J Driller on Nigel McGuinness. Strong then hits McGuinness with a jumping knee and clotheslines O'Reilly, but Christian Cage nails him with a spear. Kill Switch is in the next match, and then teases Hook hitting a choke slam on Cage. Kill Switch instead hits O'Reilly with a choke slam and puts Cage on top of O'Reilly for Cage to get the win. And this match kind of pissed me off, and here's why. Follow me on this. Why would you debut a wrestler on one of the biggest pay-per-views in your company to put him in a casino gauntlet match against 10 other dudes just to bury him? And he didn't even look strong at all in this match, like at all. I didn't understand it. I mean, okay, it's cool to debut Ricochet on a big pay-per-view, but putting him in a casino gauntlet match with other fellas when you're not going to put him over, what's the point?
I agree. And this is, we're talking about, I know we opened up the show with me saying that I really didn't have anything to really complain about. Now, bringing up this match, I reminded myself that, I loved everything about this match with pretty much the exception of the ending. I'd have to watch it back to see exactly what he did in this match. You may be right. I think you're right. But there were so many. I looked at this with everyone that was involved in this. There were so many classic like Ring of Honor guys that were involved in this, from Strong to Briscoe to Kyle O'Reilly. And then you had veterans like, Jeff Jarrett put in there. And I'm fine with Christian coming out. I thought the debut, if I was going to debut Ricochet in the hodgepodge of this entire pay-per-view, this is where I would have put him. But I would have had him done more, but I still would have had Hangman Page because of the story win. Well, but now we understand now at the end of the show why he didn't. because they're not going to involve Hangman Adam Page in the world title. His beef is with Swerve. We'll get more to that later, but
yes. Yeah.
I just, man, I'm like, man, Christian just had an opportunity. He just faced, So I would have loved to see, Ricochet. I would have loved to see, I'd say, knowing what I know now as far as who is champion now, I would have picked Roderick Strong or Kyle O'Reilly, honestly, because that's who I'd love to face Bryan Danielson as far as like a classic Ring of Honor style match,
Yeah. Well, that's one of the gripes that I had about this show. One of the gripes that I had about this show. But we'll just
I'm sure. Well, I hope the roster is so loaded. I hope Ricochet is meant for bigger things. We can do is hope and watch.
Absolutely. Let's move on to the next match, and for me, this was match of the night number 2, AEW American Championship match between MJF and the aerial assassin Will Ospreay. This was such a fantastic match, correctly placed in the card, wonderfully executed by both MJF and Will Ospreay. He was a magnificent heel, and Ospreay is beyond over in his home country. And I love this match for this reason, J-Bone. They brought back the Tiger Driver.
Yes.
I love that move. I don't know why, but I love that move. Now, what were your thoughts on this match, man?
Oh, dude, it was just, you knew how the country was going to react. This crowd was going to react to MJF coming out. I'm glad he came out looking like
Uncle Sam.
He looked like a dollar store version of Apollo Creed in Rocky IV.
Yes, I thought that too, man.
He had the top hat on. I mean, he could have had the boxing gloves, but he had his shorts on or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, if you're not Creed, Will's gonna kill you.
Yeah, that was good, man. He has so much good heat, and I loved the flag dropping down behind him, and they zoomed into where the stars are, and it's his face as the star. I love that. I love it.
In fact, I think they actually are selling that version of the flag. Not that big, of course, but
right.
But they like a normal size version of that flag in their shop AEW. Yeah.
Oh man, that's fun.
It's tempting. Let me tell you, it's tempting.
I know. You should buy it and fly it outside of your house.
I would put it right there and be like, "Oh, he's so patriotic." I'd be like, "Zoom in, man."
Exactly. It's not who you think it is. Not what you think it is.
Oh man.
But nearing the end of this match, man, MJF nearly hit the Tiger Driver on Ospreay, but Will was able to counter. MJF hits a brainbuster on Ospreay and goes in for another pin, but Ospreay kicks out. MJF then goes in for the hidden blade, but stops himself before he accidentally hits the referee after Ospreay ducked out of the way. Ospreay then inadvertently sends MJF crashing into the ref with the hidden blade. The ref laid knocked outside. MJF low blows Ospreay. MJF pulls out what appears to be some wrapped up brass knuckles instead of his ring. And J-Bone, here's why. According to some reports, the iconic diamond ring was reportedly stolen the night before the All-In pay-per-view began. So really? I would assume, yes. So I would assume that it's not a work, but it kind of makes me think it is, because then we see a masked figure then nail MJF from the apron, and he reveals himself to be Daniel Garcia. So Ospreay then takes advantage and hits the hidden blade on MJF, then follows it up with the Tiger Driver 91. The referee slides back into the ring, counts to 3. as Ospreay pins MJF for the win, and the winner and the new American champion, Will Ospreay, but not for long, because Christian Daniels slides into the ring and hands Ospreay the AEW International Championship to officially revert the title back to its previous name. So the new AEW International Champion is Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
This was match, like I said, match of the night number 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this 5 stars. I really am.
Oh, absolutely. Just it's like you get so mad at MJF. It's like, well, all he does is cut promos and he never wrestles. But when he puts on a match like this, you're like, damn, he is good. I mean, I'm not going to call him the best, but it takes someone that good to work with guys like Ospreay and so many others. And so I'll mention CM Punk from the past, because one of my favorite matches from MJF was that, what the hell was it? Dog collar match? Chain? Whatever the hell it was with CM Punk that he did a couple of years ago. Yeah, man. It was so good. The story was great. Will Ospreay is one of my faves right now. It's so much fun to watch him. His charisma is on a different level, and just knowing how much the crowd would get behind him in this match, it was like it was a great homecoming. It really was. Yeah,
and I didn't think that it would be Daniel Garcia. I really thought it was his brother coming out as the masked guy, but I'm really happy that Will Ospreay broke away from Don Callis to do this solo venture as a face, because he deserves. He's not. I didn't see Will as a heel. I don't know what he's like as a heel. I just know what he's like as a face, because I really haven't had much interaction, or I haven't really got to see many matches with Will Ospreay as a bad guy. But as a good guy, man, this guy is fucking over, and I love it. Even in the States, man, I love the fact that he's over.
Oh, just ever since, I mean, I started watching him a few years ago in New Japan, here and there, not consistently, but here and there. And then he left New Japan, and he joined TNA for, well, I'll say a cup of coffee. He did like a handful of matches, and I saw a few of them live, got to meet him. Man, dude, he loves wrestling so much. It's just, man, it's so easy to like this guy. He's really he is the future of this business. He really is.
He's magical, and I hope that I hope he excels past AEW, possibly going into maybe WWE, but I don't want it to ruin his momentum. I don't want it to ruin him as a wrestler that's actually doing some good for the company, so
the company's still growing, and it's evolving, because you got guys like him in there now, and Okada doing really positive things. And some people are like, oh, the Okada went to AEW and turned into garbage. I'm like what did you want Tony Khan to put the world championship on him like in day one? It's like, let him grow organically with the company. It's like,
let him grow with the company, but let him connect with the audience, because you don't want him to go out there on night one and win a belt. You want him to, you want him to connect with the folks. You want him to make sure that, hey, this is my top baby. This is my top baby face right now. This is my top baby face, and here's why this is my top baby face. Go out there and tell a story, and then maybe we'll slap a belt on you when the time's right. But again, you don't go out there and just shove it in everybody's face. And I hope Will has had some sort of creative control in his time with AEW, as far as how his character is built, and how they portray his character on TV. I really hope that they've given him a little bit of leeway and said, hey, we'll give you some creative control. you work with creative and build your character with us.
And I think that's one of the good things about Tony Khan. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't give creative control to everybody.
No, you definitely don't want a Hogan situation.
But there are certain ones that they're good enough that you can trust to be like, okay, here's what we want to do with you. You put your spin on it,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I think that's what he's doing with him here.
Yeah, exactly. So we move on to the next match between Mercedes Moné and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. This match kind of upset me, and we'll tell you. I'll tell you why. Nearing the end of the match, Britt Baker sends Moné crashing into the mat, then takes the glove back off that she had on and puts it back on. And Baker then gets Moné up on one shoulder. Mercedes escapes and locks the Moné maker, but then Britt counters it into a pinfall, and Moné escapes and hits Baker with a backstabber. Moné gets up, gets Baker back up on the ropes, looks to send her crashing into the mat, but Baker counters into a power slam mid-air and goes in for a pin. Moné kicks out. Baker pins her once more, and Camille then slides in. Slides Moné's foot under the bottom rope to break the fall, and Baker gets in her face. Baker then demands that the referee does something about it. As he's dealing with that, Moné grabs the TBS championship. The referee catches Moné, and Camille looks to hit Baker with the New Japan Pro Wrestling, or the NJWP PW Strong Women's Championship. Baker grabs it from Moné, tosses it back over to her, then falls to the mat, pretends Camille just hit her with it, which is great.
Eddie Guerrero style.
Absolutely. Lie, cheat, and steal. The referee then subsequently ejects Camille from ringside. Baker hits a Canadian Destroyer and a curb stomp on Moné, then goes for a pin, but she kicks out. Baker looks to clinch in the lockjaw on Moné, but Moné escapes and pins Baker. Baker kicks out, and Moné hits the Moné maker on Baker for the win, and the winner and still AEW TBS championship, Mercedes Moné. Now, this match upset a lot of people on social media because of the outcome, and I'm really agreeing with them. Here's why.
I hear you. Go ahead.
I'm not sold on Mercedes. I'm not sold. On Dynamite before this pay-per-view, they had a promo between Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné, and it wasn't the greatest promo ever. Matter of fact, Britt Baker was like the only person carrying this promo because Mercedes couldn't do it. And her entrance, the only good thing about her entrance were the damn dogs. I mean, fight me on it. The dogs were cute. Those dogs were freaking adorable, J-Bone.
The corgis, yeah.
Yes, not sold on Mercedes. She doesn't need to be carrying those titles. Britt Baker does. And that's just the bottom line. J-Bone, your thoughts?
Yeah, I wanted I'm with you on the corgis. That was definitely man. I wanted Britt to win, but they're obviously telling a different story with Mercedes. She's got more of a journey to go here with this title, and now she's got some backup with Camille, which I could absolutely appreciate. That she needed somebody or something. So we'll see if that's all they're going to give her, or if they're going to give her another lady or two for like backup to make her more like invincible,
Well, then she gets then you get into, like a stable.
Right.
Know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm all for that. I think because they have so many women, I feel like you should put some more people around Mercedes Moné. And it's not, and I'm not saying that as in, okay, well, if they do this it'll help sell you on her. No, but I think it'll help the situation. You know, this women's division is. I know a lot of people still complain about it all the time, and yeah, I would love to see more of them booked a little more consistently. Right. But you've got Thunder Rosa, you got Deonna Purrazzo, you got the return of Jamie Hayter, you got Saraya, you got Mercedes, Toni Storm, Mariah May, Britt Baker. I mean, just the names that are talented on this roster go on and on. So absolutely put a few of them together like you had surrounding, like when they had who was with Saraya, Toni Storm and Ruby
Soho, yeah,
Ruby, Ruby Riot Soho, whatever her name was, yeah. And but now she's like pregnant and getting married and whatever. So yeah, make another, build up this stable, make it put some more ladies on Mercedes Moné and call it Money Talks or something, just anything, something.
That's a good name. That's a good stable name. Money Talks. Yeah, I like that. I mean, we'll have to see. Again, and maybe that will help me get sold on Mercedes. She's just not strong on the mic, man. And I was so excited for her debut in AEW, and when she came out the first time, man,
it just took so long. They shouldn't have exposed it so early.
Yeah, it took so long, and it was so overdrawn, and it was so it was her debut was just so freaking lackluster. It was just like, hey, you've heard about me, the rumors are true, here I am, and everybody's like, yeah, and
it kind of, to me, it always kind of felt like that comeback of Jericho's where he came back and it was like, save us, Chris Jericho, save us. And he came back and he'd go around and high five and he'd get in the ring and he'd have the mic and the crowd's going absolutely ape shit. And he'd just smile and then he'd drop the mic and he'd leave and he wouldn't say a damn thing. He did this like 3 weeks in a row, and the crowd was just like still just hanging on it. And finally they got wise to it, like, you motherfucker.
You sly son of a bitch.
You son of a gun. Yeah, that's what it kind of feels like. It's like they should have, just the whole approach, I think, would have changed so much about this.
Yeah.
Emphasize the strong points, hide the weak points. But we're all armchair bookers at the end of the day. What are you gonna do?
I mean, here's my thing though, man. I went from watching her in WWE, where I was sold on Sasha Banks, and then she comes over to, and she was decent on the mic. But then she comes over to AEW and it's just downhill, because she doesn't have she's not good on the microphone, man. And I don't know if she's not working with anybody or anybody's not working with her on her promo skill.
I don't know what it is.
Even her in-ring performance is not good. I don't know what it is, but it's just not good.
I think because she has been banged up since she left the WWE, so maybe she's more careful,
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. But because Britt Baker was in this match, I'm going to give it 3 stars. J-Bone, what do you give it?
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. We move on to the next match, which is another squash match between Jack Perry and Darby Allin in a coffin match for the AEW TNT Championship. This freaking match, man. Nearing the end of it, Perry hits a power bomb on Allin, in the entrance ramp, then grabs Allen's belt and ties up his legs, as well as tying up his hands with tape that he found underneath the ring. Perry then hits a kick to the side of Allen's face, sends him off the stage through 2 tables. Perry drags the body bag that he brought up on stage on his entrance to the ring. He zips Allen into it. He drags Allen back over to the coffin, places him in the coffin, and Perry nails Allen with a knee and then closes the casket after he sat back up and wins the match. Afterwards, the Young Bucks come out with a gas can and pour what looks to be gas on Allen, and they close the casket and give Perry the lighter. And just as he goes to set it on fire and light it, man, the lights drop. And J-Bone, you called this. Out comes Sting. Yeah. And I figured Sting would make an appearance. And I said this on the review show or the prediction show.
Yeah.
I figured Sting would make an appearance only if it was dark enough for everybody to be surprised, so they didn't see anything.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah. They put that match perfectly in the card because they said, okay, this it's going to be dark. We could drop the lights, and out comes Sting.
Yeah.
And he got a huge pop. Huge pop.
Oh, dude, as soon as they were playing the classic WCW entrance from when he was like the super, like I'll call him Super Mega Sting, when he was like invincible in WCW.
Well, yeah.
They started playing Seek and Destroy from Metallica, or it was like a special mix of it or whatever it was. Oh man, yeah, that place lit up. That was amazing. I was pretty stoked.
Singing along to the music and just cheering Sting and popping for him. And you know, that guy, I'm so happy that they put him with Darby because they are just a perfect pair. They really are.
Yeah, I don't know whose idea that was initially.
Might have been Sting's.
It could have been, yeah. It just the magic that they've made together. And yeah, okay, maybe it's not a 5-star match, but the stories they've told are so much fun. And just that is one thing, you know. Yeah, Tony Khan, you know, sometimes we're critical of him and what he does and how he books stuff, but man, that is one thing Tony Khan did right over the last few years, is how he booked Sting. Mm-hmm. Man, it was, you know,
I don't know if Tony booked Sting or if Sting booked Sting.
Well, I'm sure I'm sure there was stuff that they worked together on, because I mean, there is stuff that Sting was doing in a lot of these matches, jumping off a 20-foot balcony down below, was like, oh my God. I'm like, okay, that's Sting. You know, Tony doesn't want to kill Sting, for crying out loud, but that is Sting having fun.
Well, and that's also Sting, honestly, J-Bone, that's also Sting trying to keep up with Darby Allin.
Well, that too.
You know, he wants to
I'm sure he was
in the match. Darby
was inspired by Darby. He was.
Yeah, he wants the same intensity, and it was cool to see that. You know, it was really cool to see that. But yeah, huge pop for Sting. Another squash match. I didn't like this match. I think it made Allin look really, really, really super weak because Perry just came out and just pretty much manhandled Darby Allin throughout the whole match. And again, only because of Sting. 2.5 stars. 2.5.
Oh, I'd give it more than that. I'm gonna give it 3.5, because I get what they're, and I'm not, please, this is not me saying, well, you don't get it. No, I'm not saying that. I see it differently. I see what they're doing with Jack Perry. I look where they were a year ago, all the controversy from CM Punk and everything. Jack Perry's on a different level now. He's in a new chapter. He's in the process of becoming one of the biggest heels in the company, alongside the Young Bucks and Okada in the Elite. this new version of the Elite. He's the scapegoat. He's going to do all these crazy, evil things to get over. You know, he brought out the glass. He was set fire to a few months ago. I mean, he's gone through a ridiculous amount of stuff to evolve this new character of his.
The scapegoat.
And the scapegoat. And one of the ways they're going to do this was to just absolutely destroy Darby Allin. So I'm happy with this. I'm happy, but I am happy with, you know, Sting coming out and the whole post-match stuff. So yeah, I mean, it was hard. I mean, I love Darby Allin. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's rough to see him get destroyed that much, but damn.
Yeah.
The kid can take it, you know?
Yeah. Well, J-Bone, let's move on to the main events.
Oh, are we there?
Yeah, we're there, baby. We're there.
Holy
the AEW World Championship match. The
Let me
final
get my Kleenex.
title. Yeah, I know. The final countdown title versus career between Swerve Strickland and Bryan Danielson. This easily match of the night number 3.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. And they told such a story in that ring. It was cool to see Swerve's entrance with DJ Who Kid and Big Bun B coming out, and the other rapper. I don't know who the other rapper was, but man, I love me some Bun B. I tell you that. And I love DJ Who Kid too. So props to those coming out.
I'm not familiar with the gentleman you just talked about. I'm a little more old school when it comes to rap and such, but I appreciate it. Whenever they have something live like that, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like Fozzy, or you know, perform.
Yeah, Fozzy was there. Fozzy was there tonight doing helping out with his Jericho's entrance. So that was cool.
I love me some Fozzy. Yeah, they're overproduced and such, but whatever. I love them. They're great.
Yeah. But nearing the end of this match, this was a hell of a match too.
Oh.
Danielson delivers the yes kicks on Strickland, follows it up with a suplex. Danielson stomps on Strickland and puts him in the cattle mutilation, but Strickland then makes it back up to his feet, sends Danielson crashing into the mat with a modified air raid crash. Medical officials make their way down to the ring to check on Danielson, but Strickland kicks him out of the ring and hits Danielson with the swerve stomp. Strickland follows it up with 3 house calls and goes for a pin, but Bryan kicks out. Swerve delivers his own set of yes kicks on Danielson, but Bryan responds with a couple of open palm strikes on Swerve and puts him in a triangle. Danielson then escapes and hits back suplex on Strickland and looks to follow it up with a Buseku. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway.
Oh, it's one of his finishing.
Strickland then stays standing and hits another house call on Danielson, and goes for a pin, but Bryan kicks out. Strickland mocks Danielson with the yes chants as Hangman Adam Page emerges at ringside. This is weird. And it's just continues to build the story between Adam Page and Strickland. But Page attacks Nana as Strickland watches on, but officials make their way down to the side of the ring to drag Page to the back. Strickland then turns around and you get another knee from Danielson, and Strickland kicks out once again after the pin, but Danielson and Strickland exchange strikes. Danielson hits him with another Buseku knee, and Danielson, and I hope I'm not butchering that, but Danielson hits.
It's close enough.
It's close enough, yeah, with a second one, and cinches in the label lock, and Strickland breaks free, but then Danielson snaps Strickland's fingers, and finally Strickland taps out, and the winner and the new AEW World Champion is the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Again, J-Bone, this was match of the night number 3. It could have done without an interruption from Adam Page, but I get it. Nonetheless, very good match.
It basically was a brief foreshadowing of where this is going to go.
Yeah, I get it.
Like if you once the show is done, once you realize that Bryan Danielson is champion, you go, oh, okay. So basically Swerve / Page is not going to be involved in the championship story, which it could have been easily either way. It could have been hang. But the thing with Page is it's not about the title. It's about revenge for his family because Swerve, when he was like a mega heel, and I think a lot of people forget that until you start paying attention to Page.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And it's
Swerve invaded his house and everything. So so Page is just a madman right now, and he wants that pound of flesh back.
Yeah, and it's weird how they made Swerve go from heel to a face and then a heel, because at one time during that between he and Page, he was a baby face, not even just a baby face. I would say just a face in the company, and then he made his way back into the heel persona, which kind of threw me off with Swerve. But
and that, honestly, I feel like that was more organic. Like the crowd just got behind Swerve because they saw how hard he was working.
Yeah, they've always been behind Swerve. I mean, he's over. Even as a heel, he's just over,
He's so good.
Oh, he's so good. And you know what? Honestly, it was cool to see Brie Bella at the event, not only at ringside with their kids, but on the pre-show interview with Renee Paquette. I don't know if you saw that, but it was a good interview, man. Really good interview.
It was kind of surprising because we haven't seen Brie. I mean, we haven't seen the Bellas being part of like WWE in a long time.
Any wrestling promotion.
In just wrestling, in general.
Yeah.
And now Brie, and it doesn't mean Brie is going to come back to wrestling. It's cool how they involved her in Bryan Danielson's story as he gets closer to, his actual retirement, the end of his road in professional wrestling, as far as in-ring career,
Yeah. Now, I made a prediction that, and I was right with the prediction show, that Danielson would win the title, but I also said that he would go to Dynamite the next night and lose it, or at least not the next night. It would be like a couple Dynamites or 3 or 4 or whatever. Just make it, make it mean something, and not just have him win it and then drop it on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But I said that Swerve would come back and challenge him for that belt. But now that Adam Page came out, interrupted the match, and looking to reignite the feud between he and Strickland.
Yeah.
Who do you see as a potential, besides Christian Cage, besides that, who do you see coming for that belt for one last, possibly one last match? And how long do you think he can hold on to the belt?
I would say, as far as time with the championship, I'd say till the end of the year. That's a guesstimate. It might be sooner, it might be longer, but if he's not going to be full time that much longer, then could be sooner than later. As far as opponents, besides Christian, I still can't. I love Christian. I appreciate what he's doing. I realize sometimes you forget how good Christian is, and you look at some of the feuds he's had recently. Like the one he had with Swerve was actually really good. I actually appreciated that. But sometimes you just look at like Nick Wayne's mom is out there, and it's just like, oh god.
Yeah, I know. Even that spot that Nick Wayne's mom was in with the hairspray, and I don't remember what match that was per se, but there was a.
That was the tag match, the multi-team tag match.
Yeah,
first match of the night, or the main card.
The second part of that just was stupid. Anyway, I agree. Besides Christian Cage, I don't know.
It's tough, man.
I know, because there's so many good. There's not a lot. I don't know who else could go besides Swerve. Who would want retribution? Would want revenge and get his title back.
The roster's loaded. It's easy to pick someone. It's just,
but you have to pick somebody that's going to make sense,
right? And the thing, and there's been so much focus getting up to this point, and that there was such a question mark surrounding this. Because I mean, I was skeptical. Is Danielson really gonna win? But then when he won, oh my God, it was so emotional. But now we're there. Now he's champion. Where does it go from here? Swerve's going to be busy with Page. So, I mean, could he go after the title again and get his rematch? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I would love to see, like I mentioned earlier, either like a rod or something classic, something that's going to like put some, how do I say this? It's going to put some meaning into his title reign. Give him something classic, like a Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly has been killing it since he's been back, or Jack Perry. Or no, well, Jack Perry's got the.
Jack Perry's got the TNT.
He's got the TNT title. Maybe Darby Allin. Maybe Darby Allin, now he's like so enraged with all this and he appreciates Sting helps him. But now Darby Allin wants to go because he hasn't had a lot of top opportunities.
And I would say this would be the end of Jack Perry and Darby Allin's feud. I think tonight should be the end of it because stupid. And I think this should be the end of it. So if anybody was to go after Bryan Danielson, I think you're right, man. I agree with that. I think it should be Darby Allin because the guy works so hard. He is so over with the crowd, and I think that they should put the title on him and he carry the company on his back.
And I don't do it. That or I would love to see one more. We haven't seen Mox in a while, and I know he's part of the same stable initially, but
Mox could come back and say, you know what, you're riding off into the sunset. You don't need to be with us anymore. Yeah,
and you don't need that title and really shake things up. Yeah. And then Claudio goes, "What are you doing?" And then Mox, puts a bullet in him or something. No, I'm just,
That's morbid, man.
No, I'm trying to think extreme. Like, Mox would do something like rash. He's going to come down there with the Negan style attitude.
But that makes sense because after he won the title tonight, Claudio and Wheeler came out, Yuta came out, and Pac, and they all picked up his, they picked up his kids, put him in the ring, and then Brie made her way. they went in there and they celebrated with them. So
it was such a good moment. It
that,
really
yeah.
was.
And we haven't seen much of Mox lately, so that would actually make sense.
I know he's at least I think he's still New Japan world champion. So I don't know if he's just been spending time in Japan. I don't know if he got injured. I don't know.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of him, but nonetheless, man, big congrats to Bryan Danielson on winning the AEW World Championship, and happy that you're the champ for the company now. And I'm happy that this is a really good send off that they're giving to Bryan. So kudos to AEW doing this. Kudos to Tony Khan. As much as we bitch and complain about him, this is really good. I'm glad that Swerve dropped the title because that was needed. So overall, man, this was a pretty solid pay-per-view, minus the squash matches and the things that pissed me off. Out of 10 stars, J-Bone, what would you give All In 2024 live from Wembley Stadium in London?
I'll give it 8. Honestly, I mean, yeah, there's a couple hiccups in there, but it didn't ruin this show, man. I love this show. Yeah. I can't wait to see what happens now. I'm excited for the comebacks, the debuts. Just this show had everything, man. Just so good.
I'm excited for you know what, I'll give it an 8 too, and I'm excited for Ricochet to see what he can do. I'm excited that Jamie Hayter is back. I'm really hoping that I'm really interested in seeing the numbers in this, as far as attendance goes and as far as how many pay-per-view buys there were.
I was going to ask you, did they announce an attendance? I didn't see.
They did not announce an attendance.
Maybe because of what happened last time, because it was off a little or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But they did not give us an attendance, but I'm interested in seeing those numbers. I really want to see the pay-per-view buys. I really want to see how many people are still invested in this company. And, I would say I would give it an 8 out of 10. I would go with you, J-Bone, on that. But overall, man, I was kind of stoked for this pay-per-view. Again, it's one of their biggest events in the company. So this is their WrestleMania.
They needed a show like this to come out of the controversy and stink that lasted with them because of the last show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
because it was all the stuff with Jack Perry and CM Punk, and just it stayed with them for a long time, and they needed this next show to really just get in that next chapter,
Yeah, and I mean, and then we move on to All Out, right? After All In, it's All Out, right?
That's usually how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. After it goes in, it's got to come out, right?
I gotta see when that is, but it's typically that's in Chicago.
Yeah, I have to see that when that's too. But big announcements again. If you missed it, the AEW Grand Slam 2025 held in Australia on February 15th, my birthday, and also, we have the Forbidden Door coming back to London, England, August 24th, 2025. And the next time we see All In, they will be in Texas, which is cool. So
that'll be their big show on home turf next year. Yeah,
that's the first time we'll see All In on home turf too.
This is we gotta point this out. This is funny. That the best part of this show is not ending at midnight. Yeah.
Yes, that's the best part of this freaking show.
Yeah.
It seems like every single AEW pay-per-view, we always ended at like 1:00 in the morning. It's ridiculous, but
I needed some coffee, because I woke up just before 10 o'clock, and I was like, shit, here comes the pre-show.
Yeah. I woke up at 9:30, got in the shower, got 2 cups of coffee in, and I was ready for the pre-show. I said, okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. And but the thing is, that's what we bitch about AEW so much, is that they have such a long damn pay-per-view, and you got to think it's not only tiring the viewer out, but it also tires the audience out too, because there's I mean, it's AEW is a roller coaster. I mean, it's constantly down. Sometimes you get it up and then it's just down. It's just all over the place. Where WWE, where they've had time to build it, even in TNA, where they've had time to construct their pay-per-views and their PLEs and how they format them. Yeah. It's just it's a constant motion, and you have a little downtime with matches, and then you get back up and it's another constant motion. With AEW, it's like the kid with ADD running around in the class yelling and saying, look at this, look at this, look at that, look at this, and oh, squirrel, and I just wish that they would just figure it out.
That's all that good medicine that's in Tony's cup when he's doing his scrums, man. That's how he,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, those cups he always has.
Oh yeah, I know.
If you watch it, what's funny is, and look, and I'm not going to sit here and knock him. It's water or coffee or a little bit of something else, whatever. I've heard 20 different things, so I'm not going to say. But what's funny is he'll just, like, if you watch throughout the media scrums post-show, is all of a sudden you'll see a hand slip in from somewhere, and, oh, here's another cup.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Didn't watch, and I didn't watch the media scrum because it was mainly just Renee Paquette, RJ City, and the other guy talking. I can't think of his name. Daddy Magic.
Matt.
They were just all talking and talking about.
It took a while. It took a while to bring people out.
Yeah, it's like, come on, dude. And then you had the run in from Saraya dropping the F-bombs, and I didn't understand that. I mean, that was all. Do you think that was a work, or do you think that was a shoot? Or
that was a total work, but it was. It was
beautifully portrayed. I mean, fuck, it threw me off.
Yeah, your focus was supposed to be on her, but if you looked at the rest of the family, sometimes her brothers were sitting there next to RJ, just be like,
well, they were messing with everybody.
Intimidating. Yeah, I'm like. So I'm like, oh, RJ's just pissing himself right now. Daddy Magic, he wasn't scared for a second. He was a little intimidated, but he was like, yeah, come on back, man.
Well, especially when Saraya was like, do you know what I'm saying? And he's like, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But
he's such a snot. Oh, one last thing I gotta say about Daddy Magic, when he was out there for the first part of the pay-per-view, and then they rotated like Tony Schiavone and Taz, and and then JR was in the last match, dude. Yep. And it took me a while to figure this out. Daddy Magic, because for like the first few matches, I could have swore Jerry Lawler was out there doing commentary.
I know.
I'm like, did they just hire Jerry Lawler and I missed it? Because Daddy Magic sounded just like classic Jerry Lawler doing Raw back in the Attitude Era. Minus the puppies, because man, it just. And so I have a whole new appreciation for Daddy Magic. I love him on commentary. I loved his charisma. He really brought a level of excitement to the commentary table. I loved it.
His magic, the name Magic in his name is just, it is what it is. It's magic. He really is. So I love to see Daddy Magic on the commentary team. I'm glad that JR was able to make it. because it wouldn't have been a pay-per-view without JR.
Yeah.
It was a solid pay-per-view, solid show. And let's keep the momentum going for AEW. But that is the end of the review and results show for this episode. And by the way, again, we are at 201 subscribers. Matter of fact, let me go. Yep, we're still sitting at 201 on the subscribers. And that does mean, J-Bone, we will see Max in a dress or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Soon. And we'll let you know when we get to that point. But speaking of the guys that are not here, and I'm talking about Max and the Baron, you can follow Baron at Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's on social media. Max Magus at Max Magus on social media. You can also follow his podcast, Random Shots Podcast, at R Shots Podcast on, I believe, X. And J-Bone, how can they follow you, sir?
You can follow me on the old Twitter box at JBone5150. And you can also see me on Tuesday and Thursday nights hosting TNI. That's Total Nonstop Impact, where we talk all stuff TNA, reviews, previews, results, news, all that stuff.
Yeah. And before we get out of here, Courtney made a really good point. Bash in Berlin is what, Saturday?
Oh, yeah. And also, there's something else. Oh, Emergence is coming up too on Friday.
Emergence is coming up on
so we got
Friday.
a loaded weekend coming up.
Oh, man. So we're going to have to definitely figure out our schedule for both shows, for TNI and for Ramblers Unleashed, because, man, we got a big weekend ahead of us full of just pro wrestling. And we'll have to talk about some news out of the, with the fallout of All In from AEW. But we'll
work
talk about that too. Yeah, and No Mercy coming up on NXT too. So it's just a big weekend coming up for pro wrestling. You can always follow us too on social media, Facebook, Ramblers Unleashed. We'll tell you when we're going to go live. You can also find us on X, where we'll tell you when we'll go live at the Ramblers Pod. But if you want it, a notification sent straight to your phone from YouTube, click the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That will tell you every time we go live, so that you never ever miss a live show, and be a part of the crowd, be a part of Courtney and all the other folks that are watching tonight. Thank you so much for watching us this evening for our review show for AEW All In. J-Bone, any last words before we get out of here?
No, man, just a great pay-per-view and so much fun to watch. And thanks for being here, folks. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, and appreciate you, J-Bone. Appreciate the folks. And no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, what you're doing, please enjoy professional wrestling for what it is. Love professional wrestling. That's what we do in any promotion, whether it be AEW, whether it be TNA, whether it be WWE, or independent wrestling, no matter what. Crowd goes wild every time. Enjoy professional wrestling for what it is, and we will catch you on the next one. Follow our socials to let you know when we'll go live. See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.